We rank anything and everything, trivial or deep. No matter what the outcome is, we promise that you'll weep.
Tears of Joy.
Hello and welcome to Tears of Joy, the podcast where we rank anything and everything. This week, we'll be ranking months of the year. But first, how are you, Andre?
I'm alright. You know, it's been drinking some tea.
Love
Get
tea.
the voice nice and chill. Lemon ginger this time. No caffeine because it is 8 p.m. and
I love ginger.
I don't want to die. Lemon ginger?
Lemon ginger. Lemon ginger sounds like
This is the kind of person that Charles is.
It sounds like the supervillain in like an animated kids show, like the Powerpuff Girls. Would
Lemon ginger?
Lemon ginger.
Now I made him French for no reason, but okay.
Anyways, this week? Are we gonna do this every week?
I have no idea.
This episode.
We'll see.
It's our mom's birthday.
Woo!
Happy birthday to mom.
Yay.
We're recording this on her birthday because she is out of town, but she'll hear it.
Love you, Mom.
Okay. Let's get started.
We're brothers, by the way.
We're brothers. I'm Charles.
I'm Andre.
And we're the Hart Brothers. Okay.
Oh,
First
man.
off, when we rank things, we're going to go S tier. S tier is the highest tier. It'll go S and then A. A is pretty good. Just not the absolute best. B is like, solid B. These are basically grades, like letter grades. S basically replaces A+. C is fine. D is not good. And F is just the worst of the worst. So let's get started with the months. January. Where would you put January?
All right. So right off the bat, I have a little bit of a bias because my half birthday's in January. Not super relevant, but January 3rd.
That is meaningless.
Okay, you know what? Maybe I value half birthdays on a different scale than you do.
I remember my half birthday maybe 3 times in my entire life.
Okay, you know what? That's fair. I think that January being like new year, new possibilities, it can't be below like C because there's I don't know.
So my argument against January is you got your new year, but New Year's Day is not a fun day. That's the day you're all tired and people are hungover and you're just dead.
Also, there are like
New
no
Year's
January
Eve.
holidays.
There's no January. There's Martin Luther King Day, I think is January.
Oh, yeah.
Or is that President's Day?
I
don't know. Martin Luther King was basically a president. He's a president in our hearts, and that's what really matters. And that's Tears of... No, I was kidding. January, I feel like the bulk of the month is not fun. It's cold and miserable. You're in this post-holiday gloom. I'm gonna put it D tier.
Oof. I guess it is like it's the winteriest of the winter seasons to a certain extent. It depends on the year, but like it's tough. I don't want to be mean on the first month, but like
there are better months.
It's not a great month. I'll go C. I'm gonna go a little soft on it.
C?
I feel like it's not that good of a month, but I can't put it D just because it is like that new beginnings. That New Year's, people are still optimistic about the New Year's resolutions, for example. Like there's still a chance that I could work out or I could have my diet.
There's all those people at the gym with the new gym memberships.
Exactly. There's not that like post-resolution depression, which is just like there's no way I'm gonna get my diet because I already gave up on this week too.
But if we're
what am I gonna do?
If we're gonna be realistic though, that happens like the 3rd week of January.
It's fair. That's fair. C.
February. I the whole reason I wanted to do this because I wanted to throw shade at February.
Oh my gosh.
I hate February. February is the worst month of the year. It's cold, but not like fun cold. It's gross cold.
The worst month of the year.
The worst month of the year.
Bold statement.
Definite F tier. It's cold. There's no holidays. I know what you're thinking. There's Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day does not count. It's a sad holiday. At best, it's a regular date with someone you're already in a relationship with. At worst, you're sitting home by yourself, eating chocolate out of a plastic heart and being sad.
Dang.
I'm not a fan.
Okay, yeah. So I have a bias against Valentine's Day as someone who has never been on a date in my entire life.
That would do it.
So generally
I've been in the whole Valentine's Day thing too, though, and it's just like
underwhelming.
Yeah, be nice to them.
which is every day.
Just every day. Every day should be Valentine's Day.
Or none of the days, and then that solves the problem. It's the same thing.
Sure.
But yeah, there's generally just like, oh, it's the day people are lovey-dovey, and I'm just sitting here on my own eating chocolate, or not eating chocolate because no one gave me chocolate. And yeah, it's just painfully cold. I'm sorry. I know I have a lot of my friends and a lot of people. I don't know if this is actually like a thing or not, but a lot of people feel like they have birthdays in February.
Just a lot of people feel like that?
I feel like a lot of people I know have birthdays in February.
I know.
Not like people have birthdays in July, but they're like, I just feel in February this year, you know?
Well, okay, this is actually relevant. I'm an Aries, but I really identify more as a Pisces.
You are the worst person that has ever.
And Pisces are mostly born
Charles,
in February.
I actually cannot believe you're saying this right now.
I'm 100% serious.
The worst
Pisces are water signs, and we're emotional.
I feel a little more like a Pisces. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So where are you putting February? I'm putting it F tier.
I do want to bring up this before we move any further. It's the shortest month, and it has a leap day. Does that
but it
make
feels
any
like the
impact
longest.
for you?
It feels like the longest. You know what's exciting about February is when it's one day longer, and you're like, wow, now it's another day, and there's nothing cool about it. It's just another day that doesn't usually exist.
I can't in my right mind put this above January, which has Martin Luther King Day and New Year's. I'll just say D, but I don't want to say F just in case. I haven't thought too hard.
You know what? I think February is Black History Month. Which, okay, you know what? That doesn't boost February. That just shows how America treats its black people.
Oh my god!
Is they're like, here we go. You want a month? We'll give you February. That's why I think Martin Luther King Day might be in February.
No, it's January.
Oh, it's January. Okay, Martin Luther King, he was smarter than that. He was better than February. Be like Martin Luther King.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say D.
You say D?
Yeah.
You're not saying F?
I'm not saying F.
Okay. Do you have... Okay, we'll see. Next up, March. March is my birthday.
I'm Charles, and I have a birthday in March, so March is great.
That's what I think. March. Pros, spring starts.
That is exactly where I was going to go with this, yeah.
Love it when it stops being cold. Spring lately has not been starting as much as I want it to.
Yeah,
but
it's
got that hope there.
It's still colder.
It's also, you got spring break. Which is a tasty week off, which is much needed after the harsh reality.
That's true.
Of February.
Other noteworthy days in March or noteworthy trends in March.
Easter sometimes falls in March, but that's like a March-April thing.
Right. St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day.
How do you feel about St. Patrick's Day? As a 19-year-old.
Well, I like it more than Valentine's Day. But that's not a high bar.
Your favorite color is green.
My favorite color is green. I wonder if that's
Day.
because of March.
I don't know.
It just feels weird because why is there one Irish day? Why don't we have days for other? There's no like German day.
To be fair,
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day is not Irish Day. It is a day that is probably rooted in history of specifically this boy, Mr. St. Patrick. I have no real evidence to back that up, or I don't know anything about the history of St.
I'm pretty sure
Patrick's Day.
he was Irish, but
right. No. I'm saying he was, but it's not a day that's like we're celebrating like the idea of an Irish person. It's instead like I guess I don't know the history of St. Patrick's Day.
I think it is. We're really realizing how uneducated we are making this.
Well, on specifically
this podcast.
Holidays and St. Patty's Day.
Well, and that's another thing is I find these month rankings revolve a lot around the holidays.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at least.
But St. Patrick's Day is such a crazy day. Chicago dyes its entire river green for this day.
Right.
And I don't know, it just feels like a weird phenomenon to me that everyone just willingly participates in without thinking about why Irish people. Not saying I got anything against, leprechauns and shamrocks. Just saying like there's no French Day. I guess Bastille Day. Is that a French day?
Yeah, that's a day that exists.
But it's not. None of them are nearly as intense as St. Patrick's Day.
I mean, St. Patrick's Day for most people, from my perception, is an excuse to praise the color green, drink a lot of beer, and then just that's it. That is all of the day.
I think the beer part specifically is like, for talking about the way America turns a holiday into a reason to buy things. I think that's why Valentine's Day is a thing people still care about, is because you walk into Target and there's a whole Valentine's Day section of stuff now. Consumerism. And now St. Patrick's Day is the same way. So I said all those good things about March, but it is mostly cold and gross the whole time. Yep. I'm not the biggest fan of St. Patrick's Day. It does have spring break going for it. I'm gonna put it B tier.
Okay.
If it didn't have spring break, definitely C tier. I think it's a borderline there.
Yeah, I honestly now looking at this, I'm thinking about my favorite months. I'm thinking about my top tier boys, and I'm like, man, maybe I should have scaled things down with January and February, because I'm not leaving myself too much room to work with here.
Right. You can go back and change it. There's no rules.
Right. But March, because it has your birthday, that's kind of a personal bias.
Lilith. But this show is personal bias.
But yeah, no, I think
I said lit.
Yeah.
It's because Estelle said it.
Right. Fair. True.
I like Estelle.
But spring...
I'll be my American boy.
Spring break is noteworthy. It's a very, very good break. You're on like the verge of the end of school if you're a young boy, and
in college you got March and then April and then that's it.
Yeah, this is a firm B for me. This like the start of spring and the symbolic aspect of that is also pretty neat. So that's good.
All right, now we can move on to April. How do you feel about April?
I honestly can say this is one month that I don't care much about April. I think that the idea April showers bring May flowers brings up like, okay, it's rainy. It's a rainy month. You're really in spring now. Ideally, it's not really super cold anymore, but it's kind of like, it's like when you turn like 17 or 19. Like, there's not really that much going on. It's kind of in between the major things. Like,
sure.
if it's May, you might be like, I'm getting out of school, or something like that. If it's March, like it's the start of spring. But April's just like, it's raining, and you're just there, and it's Easter sometimes. That's cool, I guess, for Christian people. But like, I don't know. There's just not a whole lot of like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't like April specifically because it coincides. I'm really hating on months here.
Yeah, no, you are not a big month fan.
I promise, like, it gets better later in the year. I just don't like these spring months. The earlier months
the start of the year for Charles is a little bit rough.
March is fine, you know. It starts out. You start off on a bad note. April Fool's Day.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Which
it's
such a weird holiday. That people I've never seen an April Fool's prank where I'm like, that was a great prank. I'm really glad I saw someone do that prank.
I love April Fool's Day so much. I love April Fool's Day.
I love April. Like,
I love being fooled.
My Spanish teacher one year was like, hey, I was thinking of doing an April Fool's prank on my kid. What should I do? And she was like, I think I'm gonna put toothpaste in an Oreo. I was like, God, that's disgusting. If
imagine your child is eating an Oreo and they're like, what is this? And your mom's like, I told you not to eat that.
Mom, I love you, and I know it's your birthday today, but if you gave me an Oreo filled with toothpaste,
I'm running away from home.
I would throw up. I would throw up on you.
Oh, not where I thought you were going.
It's not an act. I don't have to throw up. It's a purposeful act. It's a revenge.
Mom, if you're listening, I would not do that. That's messed up. That is just not cool.
Yeah, you know what else is messed up? Lying to your children.
Vomit on your mother.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well,
would you do it on her birthday?
If it was her birthday, no.
I guess her birthday isn't April Fool's Day. So
if it was April Fool's Day, definitely. Yeah, okay. If it was just a random day in June and Mom gave me an Oreo filled with toothpaste, I would definitely throw up on her.
How did this happen?
No question.
What is wrong with this man? Okay, so yeah, I'm honestly
standardized tests all take place in April. Also, you sound like you just ate a toothpasty Oreo.
I did. I did
Ayo.
I did not do that, but. Honestly, with this, that's a good point. So standardized tests, April Fool's Day, which honestly, like, you're gonna have to do a holiday list separately. This is a low quality holiday. But I'm thinking like it's on February levels for me. I know you you hate February a lot.
The weather is better in April. I'd say that's the biggest difference for me.
But I still personally, I hate the cold because I have this thing called Raynaud's syndrome where my fingers lose all the blood in them and then get super, super numb. And also because cold is just, it's too cold. It's bad.
I have this too, listeners.
But when it comes to wind, that's my least favorite weather condition. Because if okay, and I guess that applies in February still. But like, I feel like it can be really windy in the spring as well. And if you get slapped in the face with a bunch of wind and it's already cold, my nose is like, man, it's too cold. And my hands are like, man, what are you doing? It is just too cold out here. And it's just it's too much for my brain.
I like how you made the voice to make sure we knew your nose and hands were black. Like
wow.
We wouldn't have known otherwise. It was like, man, this is just too. Hey, man, we gotta go.
But yeah, no, I just generally not a big fan of the early month weather. I guess that makes sense.
It's a rough time for weather.
Since I put January as C, I gotta say April's D too. Like
I might also put.
And
April
if that
D.
means I gotta bump something else down, I'll do it. But yeah,
there's no set number of
months per tier.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to May. I'm gonna front load this. I think May's an A tier. I think May comes with the end of school. It gets warmer. So you got that hope there. There is the stress of like finals and stuff.
Correct.
But at least in college, it's mostly gone. And I think that first day off of school where you just sit at home and you're just chilling, that's heaven. That's my favorite day of the year, I think.
I will say this is, again, a lot of bias coming in because I know in a lot of places they probably don't have school end in May. That's a very, like...
That's true. That's more of a college-y term,
Gotcha.
the way my semester works. But I know a lot of high school, middle school stuff that'll go through May, maybe even into June.
Right. But I'm surprised that you were so upfront about A tier. I will say I think May's a good month. The whole I'll bring it back. April showers bring May flowers. Like
Love
this
flowers.
is the month of the flowers. This is I think this is really peak spring. I don't know if you can even deny that.
Yeah.
Like the idea of things are budding. It's a pretty time of the year. You can go outside and be in the park and play, and the weather's kind of chill. I don't know why I don't know why that's my ideal spring situation. It's like, I'm gonna go out in the park and I'm gonna play.
Yeah, you're like
I'm gonna go play.
like all these other months,
with my flowers.
I can't frolic in a meadow.
Yeah.
That's all I really want.
Yeah, but I mean, there are still some standardized tests in there. That's a little rough, but I think that the whole end of school plus the peak of spring, that's good stuff. That's good stuff right there.
Yeah. One nice thing about May in comparison to, say, so in the spring versus the fall, I feel like the spring you have a nice transition time where it goes cold, 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 then it slowly warms up, and you got like a few weeks in the 60s, 70s where you can slowly start shedding your layers. Whereas the fall nowadays, I feel like lasts for like a week. It goes from 70 to 40 in like the blink of an eye. Yeah. I appreciate that May has that good weather for us Ohioans. So me May A, you May.
I'm gonna say B. I think it's a good month. I don't want to leave my. I think that there are better months out there, and I feel like this is fair to say it's on par with March, as both do start with the letters M-A. Not relevant, but I think it's.
Ranking the months based on their first letters.
B tier, the letter M.
Okay, next up, after May, we got that June. June, first month, I think everyone's on summer vacation.
I have to immediately say, I'm putting June in A tier. I'm pretty confident in that. I'm excited to hear your perspective on it. But my views is like, it's warm. It's not way too hot. It is warm. It is the bliss of, for school people, for school people, I use school people out there. But for students and for teachers, it's just like I'm finally off. You can just relax. If you want to take like the entire month of June off of doing anything, you can kind of just do that. It's just kind of a frenzy. You can hang out with friends. It's a good time. Yeah, I have no real qualms with June.
I would say
it didn't feed me any toothpaste Oreos.
That's true. No one's okay, and that's a weird thing now though. We're May and June don't really have meaningless holidays.
Which I guess I do consider that a good thing. As weird as it may be.
It feels, I think also with the meaningless holidays, you have all this expectation that leads up to them. like, oh, St. Patrick's Day is next week, and then it comes, and you're like, that was just St. Patrick's
I didn't
Day.
even think about, dude. In St. Patty's Day, you get pinched. People
Oh, that's
suck.
true.
Oh my god.
No, that's the worst. You get punished for not participating.
I'm still keeping it B tier, but oh man, people are so mean about pinching you for not wearing green.
No one will pinch you in June.
Weren't you in elementary school and like
God, yeah, okay, no. I was in elementary school. We had this like after school care program. Because our parents were working.
Which was called Champions. Kind of a weird.
That was a weird
name when you think.
Aha! You all have gone home, but us champions will remain at the school and wait for our mummies to pick us up.
Us third graders.
Us third grade. Well, I was a mighty sixth grader.
Wow.
Yeah. Which makes the story debatably weirder. So, my teacher, who I will call Miss E. No one will ever figure that one out. She pinched. I was wearing a full green shirt. It was a long sleeve green T-shirt. It was as green as you could possibly be.
You just had a torso that was.
Because our mom is she's very aware of these things, because I think one year we probably got pinched and she was like, no, my kids are not getting pinched. I'm gonna lay out these green clothes for them. It's St. Patrick's Day. So I come in wearing this long sleeve green T-shirt. And Miss E walks up, and she just pinches me. And I was like, yo, what's your problem, lady? I didn't say that. Okay. Editor's note, I didn't say that.
Hey, man. What you doing?
I said, what's your problem, lady? And then I punched her in the nose. And that's how I got suspended.
And her nose said, hey, man.
Hey, man.
You gotta go.
No, her nose was like, oh, my God. Why would you? She wasn't black. That was my joke.
All right.
Anyways. She said, you're not wearing enough green. And I looked at her, and she was not wearing any green either. She was wearing a brown sweater.
So did you pinch her back?
No, I can't. You can't do that. That's weird. I said, you're not wearing green at all. And she said, well, it doesn't matter. Oof. And then she left. Kind of implying, though, that it didn't matter if you were wearing green or not. She was just going to pinch me. Like, that wasn't St. Patrick's Day related. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm not wearing green. It doesn't matter. I will pinch any child I want to pinch.
Oh, my gosh. All right. So,
that is me.
So I will pinch, we were talking about,
I'll pinch the champions to assert my dominance.
So, June.
Oh, yeah, I didn't give you my opinion on June.
Right.
I like June. I don't love June, and I don't know why. I can't say what it is. June feels very muddy to me. Like, I've never done a lot of stuff in June, so all the days kind of melt together, and it gets into this kind of like purposeless slog for me.
For me personally, I only realize that in July when I go, oh my God, I haven't done anything. What the heck? But for June, I find that to be comforting after months of routine, months of work, months of like constantly doing the same thing. So, the Januaries, the Februaries, right? But when it gets to June, you're just like, you can kind of indulge yourself in that bliss. Or alternatively, if you were to be more productive, that would only be a good thing. I just personally always fail to establish an effective routine because I'm finally free. I can do whatever I want.
I think I'm going to put June in A tier. I think I'm going to bump May up to S tier.
Ooh.
I think I'm going to say May is one of my favorite months.
Wow. So that's because of what exactly?
I just like May more than June. I think it has more hope to it. You also have to understand, for me, by the time June starts, I've been out of school for 2-3 weeks.
Gotcha.
So for me, in terms of the summer progress, that kind of functions the way you were saying your July does.
I just honestly I've got a lot of AP exams in me, and so I can't actually do that. Yeah. Advanced placement classes in high school, it's a little bit rough.
Not a fan of those APs.
Yeah. I don't know why I turned Scottish for that, but
I don't either.
And so that's just how I roll sometimes.
Get out of here, Scottish Andre. Go back to the mines.
What was that joke?
What
was that?
Because we keep all our...
What was that?
You know how, like...
Whoa!
Maybe it was like a dwarves joke. Because dwarves...
Are you trying to decipher your own joke?
Even
you don't know where that came from?
I don't know what the things I say mean.
Deep within your being to just say, go back to the mines, you dwarven demon. You demon child from Scotland. They don't have a holiday. They don't have their version of St. Paddy's Day. So I have to bring out the Scottish accent every once in a while to celebrate Scottish culture. I wonder if the idea of like, you know, kilts and bagpipes is like offensive to a Scottish person. It's just like
No, it's like a tradition. It's
right,
like
right.
you
I
okay.
don't know if I were to think like Scotland and those things came to my mind, I wonder if that would just be like, "Ugh, we're so much more than that.
There's-
Which obviously I know they are, but like
Right. I think there's a difference between like, hey, you're Scotland, you guys got all those bagpipes and kilts. They'd be like, yup. Not like, hey, Scottish person, where's your kilt? You play the bagpipes? That's like the equivalent of like seeing an American person being like, hot dogs and beer.
yeah, that's true. But it's accurate, right? Right, guys? It's football.
Love.
Yeah.
I forgot everything American. Hamburgers.
Money.
I love McDonald's.
Wow, I've never heard someone struggle so much to say McDonald's before.
Cheeseburger. That was June. Where did you put June?
I said A as well. I've stuck with my
said A.
original choice, and I'm quite proud of it.
Okay, now we got July.
Instantaneous bias. My birthday is in July. This is the time when we most often take road trips to, say, New York. It's a really a vacation month, if we're being honest. And I think that I personally believe that bumps it up a lot. I will say the latter half of July for a high schooler or a middle schooler is often like, I got to get my summer homework done. Ah, drat, I'm a kid, I'm a student. Which that's my student voice, if you couldn't tell.
Oh, man.
Darn it.
I gotta turn in my homework.
Oh, looks like we gotta read this book.
Algebra.
Or rather, go on SparkNotes and check it out there.
Can I copy your answers?
6th grade Charles, you suck. I'm not gonna let you go.
God, I hate 6th grade Charles. Who let him in here?
He just wanted to wear a green shirt and not get pinched.
Yeah, well, he's gonna get punched next time I see him.
Charles hates the like.
Hey there, it's me. It's 6th grade. Oh, what the heck was that for?
That's what
Okay.
you get
Okay.
for
I don't
being
know why.
you.
Charles has this real, genuine, almost concerning contempt for his 10 to 13-year-old self.
You don't you don't know him like I do.
Okay.
I just punched myself in the face for
You
that
did.
joke.
I don't know why you did.
I hope the audio went through because it kind of hurt me.
Okay.
Anyways,
So yeah, July.
July.
I think that vacationing is a great month. I think that my birthday makes it a great month. And even though there is a little bit of that summer homework stress, that's again a very personal thing. I feel like July didn't do anything to deserve that necessarily. And I will say that this does get into the realm of a little bit too hot, possibly. You can see where I'm going with this foreshadowing. There are some days in July where you're going to be like, brother, it is way too hot. I cannot possibly go outdoors and survive this
for
weather.
sure. But you got the added benefit of you don't have to leave the house. You have no reason to.
True.
You have an excuse to explicitly not leave your house,
Yeah.
which I am always a fan of. I agree with July for all the reasons you said. I will put it at A tier as
I'm
well.
also okay. So I was going to. I didn't know if it would be controversial or not. I'm also putting it in A tier. I feel like it has higher highs and slightly lower lows than June. June is a more
June is more
solid
consistent.
A. July has some S moments and some B moments for
Mm-hmm.
sure. So I'm sticking with that. Hey, that's good.
Do you have any months off like that? Do you anticipate an S coming up in this?
Oh. I know where my S is. I think I have a single S, and I
Okay.
think you probably know it.
I can guess what it is.
Although it's
probably
so,
we'll see.
yeah.
Okay. Next up we got August.
Ooh, July should have been S.
Let's go back.
I'll hold it for now.
Okay.
August
August?
is too dang hot.
Yeah, August is too hot, and you go back to school, and those two things do not add together well. You got this. August, I always like to say summer is like a 3-day weekend. June is the Friday. You got your extra day off. You're like, wow, this is so great. I got these days off. July is like the Saturday where you're like slipping into it comfortably. And then August is the Sunday, and you feel the dread of school coming on, and you got to do all that homework to get ready to go back.
Honestly, this might be my F tier.
Really?
I know it's depressing. So I think that,
oh, snap.
okay. It's a bit of a bold claim. So our dad's birthday is in August.
That's true. But
And
he
I love him
admits.
to death, but he doesn't take his birthday as that big of a deal. Get some gifts and it's chill and it's good. But I think also he would agree with us that August is not a very good month. Now, this is also, again, biased because when I'm in August, I'm not just doing my summer homework. I'm doing all of my summer homework. I'm sleeping about a third as much as I slept in July and June. And once school actually starts, it is hot. And even though the first couple weeks of school are never actually that bad because their teachers are just like, hey, this is what this class is. All right, bye. And that's the entire class.
Right.
The sheer concept and mental stress of going back to school is pretty awful. That being said, I guess there's duality there, because seeing your friend, if you don't see your friends that often, or at least some of them during summer, it's good to see them again once you go back to school. Then again, if you're someone who doesn't actually have school going on, if you're someone who just like doesn't get that much time off in the summer, then it's just a hot month. And a hot month, I just don't like the heat that much, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I don't think either of us like the extreme weather in any direction.
That's fair.
I do think I prefer heat to cold just because I can use my fingers when it's hot.
That's a very good point, and I agree with it. And now I'm yeah, okay, I don't want to spoil anything, but
yeah, I think I don't like August. It's just a month of dread for me, where I'm like anticipating this new thing that I know is gonna come and be bad. I'm gonna put it at D tier.
I will also say the French word for August is A-O-U with a caret T. And that might just be, it's pronounced like It's like the ugliest word I've ever seen in my entire life.
Can you say that again?
So I want to look up the pronunciation, because I genuinely, I'm never confident when I'm saying this word, but it's one of my least favorite words in the French language. French is a beautiful, beautiful language.
You know, I'm while you look that up, I think I'm gonna change this to
Haute.
Haute.
Haute. It's haute.
I love oats.
How on earth?
I'm gonna change it to C tier, because it is a month of dread, but you do have like at least the first half where you don't have to go to school. Also, I will say, you obviously, I don't think this is going to change your answer. You are a senior in high school. There is no more summer homework after this. Your Augusts from now on will be a lot better than they have been.
That's a darn good point there, partner.
I'm putting it at C tier. Next, we got August. September. I don't know. So September, you're getting all settled into school. It's not quite hard yet, but it's starting to be like a toll on your mind.
Right.
The weather is still hot. And I think September comes with it the illusion of fall. I think we were like taught that. But I can specifically remember this year a day in August where I could say not August, a day in October where I said I can finally put on my sweatshirt now. It was I think September is still hotter than you think it is. I'd say September is very middle of the road for me.
So, I remember the cross-country season this year. So we have meets up until about October 12th. And typically you have really hot ones at the beginning of the season, and near the end of the season it starts to taper off. It gets cooler, and that way you get faster times, not just because you're improving, but also because the temperature's getting better,
right.
The weather, and so it's a lot more convenient. We had one meet, the very last one, that wasn't super hot. It was crazy hot for all the other meets, and that sucked. It was very, very unfortunate. There's not too much that's like that good. I guess it is. So it is technically the start of fall, like you said. And the song September, I'm not even kidding, makes me
banger. No, 100%. I was gonna mention
September
that.
a better month for me, because when you think of September, that's a noteworthy piece. Why are you starting at the very beginning?
Do you remember the 21st night of September? I don't know the words after that.
I don't either. I'm so sorry, Earth, Wind, and Fire fans.
Do you remember the other lyrics of September? No, we don't.
Yeah, I guess the start of fall. I never had very strong opinions of fall until I was about this stage in my life. There are so many people who love.
There are a
fall.
lot of fall stands. I'm thinking we're gonna get some heat from not appreciating fall as much as other people like it. That said, I like the fall stuff when we do it, like apple
Shoot.
picking.
I can't
hay
actually.
rides.
I can't rank September that low because the colors start to change, the leaves, and
Tasty.
that is like one of my
Tea-
favorite. When you think of the seasons, that's just so good.
Yeah. Hot take. Fall's the prettiest season.
Yeah. Facts.
We got the beautiful
No
warm colors
doubt.
of that thing. I'm gonna put September at a B. I think it's a fine month. I the things I don't like about it don't make that big of a difference. The things I do like about it don't make that big of a difference. I think it's I leave it with a better impression than like bad. Like I don't feel comfortable ranking it C tier.
Yeah. I was looking at my previous picks. January I put at C, and I think that I couldn't be in my right mind putting September below that. So January is good because also you have some time off of school oftentimes, but like the weather's just so much worse in January than it is in September.
It really
The leaves
is.
aren't changing. They don't have a dope song called January. Who would write a song about January?
A
you know?
January song would just be like cold.
The weather outside is frightful.
But that's Christmas.
And that's the entire song.
It's so cold.
I'm so scared. Yeah, so September, I think I'm gonna say B. I think it's a good month. It didn't do anything wrong, you know.
Is Let It Snow not a Christmas song?
I guess not.
Like by
I
association,
never
it's a Christmas song.
considered why.
But I don't think that it's got anything in it that is explicitly Christmassy. You know.
Yeah. Fair.
Anyways, that's September. October. I think October. A lot of people love it to death. I don't love it to death. I personally am not a giant. I'm not a big Halloween person,
So,
which
yeah,
I know
we're gonna get heat for this.
this is gonna wound some people. I don't like dressing up as things. That stresses me out. I don't like the idea of going to a big party. I'm too old to trick or treat. I'm not old enough to drink, and I don't really like horror movies that much.
Okay, yeah. So the idea of Halloween being a day that praises fear and candy is, I'm a fan
It's
of
the perfect child predator holiday. Fear and Candy. Also, Fear and Candy would be a great band name.
Great is
Fear-
a strong word.
Fear,
I don't know about great band name.
Fear and Candy would be a C tier band name.
Candy, that's been our show tonight. Thank you very much for coming.
Fear and Candy.
Candy and shut up.
For Candy, or we might kidnap you. Fear and
It's so
Candy
mysterious.
should write the January song.
Oh my gosh. No, they have to write a song about October. Okay, so yeah, I feel like I like one of those two things, Fear and Candy. I'm a fan of candy. I think
Sure.
candy's relatively. I mean, it's not actually harmless because it harms your body a lot. But I don't like horror films. I don't like horror games. I feel like the experience of being scared on its own, I don't find joy in. I understand the concept of it being a good thing for people because like just feeling those extremes, having a really good film that is based in the genre of horror can have a lot of depth to it. It can have a lot of like different emotions. It can bring out a lot of movies that I enjoy, just like Pixar films, things like that. Always have the happy ending, and I enjoy that a lot. But some people could say that the horrific, disturbing, psychological horror type stuff
Right.
is a whole nother level of intelligent filmmaking and stuff. That being said, that's not inherently October. I just think of it as associated with Halloween, which is a holiday that I feel
100%.
like dressing up. You said you don't like it too much because it's a stressful thing a lot of the times. I can concur with that to some extent, but I also think that I enjoy the idea of dressing up. I think it's a pretty harmless, cute little thing for a lot of people to be just running
Right.
around dressed in costumes. That's a cool idea. I like the idea of candy being around. That's a weird sentence to say, just in general.
I will say, as an adult, I just buy candy all the time. Like, candy
Fair.
is not an October thing for me. Candy is a lifestyle.
No.
Candy.
Okay.
I
I wasn't expecting that.
you gotta know, Andre. I have in my bedside drawer at all times a 6-pack of Hershey's bars for any and all
Okay.
emergencies where I'm like,
This
I need
is
chocolate right now.
News to me, and I'm kind of disturbed. A 6-pack of Hershey's bars.
Yeah, so
you're saying full size, just normal
full size Hershey bars
Hershey's
because
bars.
you,
6 of them.
yeah. Well, I don't
6
eat 6. Okay, you're saying 6 of them like I eat 6 of them in one sitting. That's not true. It'll last me like a week or two. But you go to Target and you want a Hershey bar.
But you're having about a Hershey bar a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Okay. In that case, I see your
coping mechanism.
I see this bias against. I feel like I'm gonna rate this a little higher than you because I feel like I don't like the weather that much because it gets a little windier, it gets a little cooler.
Halloween is always miserable weather. That's another thing.
Yes.
Is you have these people dressing up in like, I don't know, big thing or small thing, whatever it is. It's gonna be cold and rainy, and you're gonna wish that you just wore a coat.
But at the same time, I can't actually be too against it because October 31st is the last day. It's getting cooler throughout the entire month. But like early October, that weather's nice because you can wear a sweater. And this is why a lot of people I know like October so much. If you have like a cute flannel outfit or something, like my friend, they'll be able to wear that. Or like it introduces the idea
I have cute flannel outfits.
Cool. It introduces the idea of like some long sleeve stuff, some more complicated fashion, which I'm not a big fashion guy, but it's still noteworthy that like you can mix it up a little bit. And that it's cold, but it's cool as opposed to being super cold for most of the month.
Right. I say,
and the leaves are changing more.
the leaves are changing more. It's got the aesthetic value. I do think that fall doesn't last. I said this earlier. Fall doesn't last as long as people think it does. I can remember being hot in October and then being too cold in October, and if it had lasted the whole month, that'd be tight.
Fair.
It just doesn't.
This is kind of a tangent. What's your opinion on pumpkins / jack-o'-lanterns?
I mean they're fine. They're like harmless. I don't like like when it stays out for too long, but I like it as an artistic tradition. I like the idea of someone being like, I'm gonna carve a face in this with my kid, but I also like the idea of someone being like, what if we could put Elsa from Frozen on a pumpkin?
Ooh, oh.
Yeah. I'm knowing you, I'm gonna say you don't like pumpkins a whole lot because they're gross and messy. You don't like messy things.
Wow.
You're not a messy boy.
Wow.
I'm a much messier boy. I love slop.
I don't actually. I was just seeing if you had any strong opinions on that. I honestly don't. I don't like making jack-o'-lanterns because the guts of gutting a pumpkin, it just feels morally wrong.
Sure, yeah.
I've got to be real with you. I don't like touching things that are that slimy because it feels like I'm killing someone. It feels like I'm feeding someone a toothpaste-fed Oreo. Like it's just not. It's
toothpaste-fed Oreo would also be a good band name.
Yes, that is English.
That would be a good band name. I don't know what would be a good band name. That's what we've learned this podcast.
Charles,
I take any weird phrase and I'm like, band name.
Toothpaste-fed Oreo. That's so
Toothpaste
quirky.
Oreo.
Yeah, no, I think that the designs can also be cool. But I feel like since October has Halloween, which is such a quirky thing, and the weather's good-ish, and the seasons are changing, the aesthetic of October, which, man, I can't believe I just said that. That's such
the aesthetic of October?
Yeah, just that's
okay,
such an
but
Instagrammer
actually
thing.
though, of the months, I guess you could argue maybe December is an aesthetic. October is the most aesthetic of a month.
Pretty. It's a pretty. Although,
yeah.
We're getting into pumpkin spice stuff.
See, I think
consumerism again.
Sure, like okay, pumpkin spice lattes. People like those. Like that I don't have much of a problem with. Pumpkin spice Rice Krispie treats. That's a crime. Throw that in the trash.
I
burn
said
it up.
I said it with a very, very contemptful tone, but in reality, I think that the smell of pumpkin spice is super cool.
Yes.
I just think that it's so overused in all of these seasonal things.
I think also like you get like your holiday Christmassy stuff. They start putting mint in everything. You kind of get that at St. Patrick's Day too, just because it's green. Yeah. That's already an existing flavor that you're putting more stuff. Like you could get a mint something when it's not that month. Yeah. Pumpkin spice doesn't exist anywhere else. I think it gives it more of an exclusive feel.
I said around the world. I feel like it's probably a very American thing now that I think about it. That's
all around the world.
Pumpkin spice takes over. But yeah, I'm honestly gonna put it in B.
I'm putting it at C. I guessed you would put it.
That makes a lot of sense. That's fair.
I have no idea what I was gonna say. I just kind of trailed off and then started singing that song instead. November, I don't like. Hot take. That's not really that hot take. So okay, November is a confused month. I think so. Halloween, we're talking about American consumerist holidays. Right. Halloween is intensely consumerism. Mm-hmm. You got the candy types, you got the decorations, you got the costumes. November struggles to find its footing because its main attraction is Thanksgiving, which falls near the end. But people like to jump over that and go right to Christmas. I like Christmas personally. I like the Christmas season, but I don't think November should be defined by Christmas because it's not a November holiday, and thus I think it ends up trying to be, some people give it this, family, fall festive harvest kind of thing, but then some people try and make it Christmas early, and I think the confusion of November doesn't help. Adding on to that, November is like it's kind of like April in the sense that you have this intensity of your classes ramping up, you got to do all this hard stuff, and the weather's not that great, it's cold.
Yeah. Now, I will give November some credit here because Thanksgiving as a concept is so dope. Just being able to be like, hey, bringing together family, eating a big old meal, and then giving some thanks. That's so
Sure.
harmless. It's a wholesome holiday. You know, it's not a wholesome holiday. St. Patty's Day. Go out and you pinch people and you drink alcohol. Like that's not a wholesome holiday. Thanksgiving it's so kind. It's just good.
You sound like the principal of like a private school.
St. Patrick's Day, it's full of sin and...
Okay, what is this character you have in your mind of the principal of every private school?
It's like I'm trying to like the idea of like the principal being all like morally upright. He's like,
These St. Patrick's Day kids, that's his voice now.
I'm
What is it with all this alcohol and the green and everything? And I need to stop smoking.
The idea of a St. Patrick's Day kid, by the way, in case you're wondering, is just an Irish person.
a St. Patrick's Day
He
kid?
said a St. Patrick's Day kid.
I don't remember saying that. I don't know. No.
St. Patrick's Day kids.
Oh no. Okay. No, I mean like people that are super enthusiastic about it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought
no.
you were just saying, like,
Yeah, this guy, he's actually just racist against Irish people.
I bet they're magically delicious, aren't they, you leprechaun boy?
Okay, wait. Time out. Why are you eating them? Why are you concerned with their taste? I bet they're magically delicious. We're not eating these Irish boys.
Charles, you don't understand. You're not a cereal eater. Lucky Charms.
What?
The slogan of Lucky Charms.
Oh,
is,
okay.
They're magically delicious.
You said
Lucky Charms
cereal.
just
I
being-
get the joke. You said cereal eater. I thought you meant like serial killer, but you eat people.
Oh my
I'm a cereal eater and I only eat St. Patty's boys. He's magically delicious.
I said, you're not a cereal eater. And you went, what? No, I'm not. I don't eat children. Anyway.
I only eat short, red-headed people. That's not me. That's the cereal eater.
What?
I'm not a cereal eater.
I'm... What?
Anyways, November.
I just think Thanksgiving
It does-
is a wholesome holiday. And outside of that, it is getting a little too cold. If we're being real, it's getting a little
Right.
bit too cold. But a little too cold isn't that bad.
February is much worse than November in terms of coldness. I think also you got the general holiday festivities going on. I said I didn't give a lot of praise in November. I just think it in general it has less cultural significance than
Yes.
October and December.
And
I'm
actually-
gonna put it at B.
Going off of that, there's a certain fear of like people will just they'll take November and they'll say, oh, it's Halloween's over, it's time for Christmas, and
Yeah.
they skip over Thanksgiving. Now I will say there aren't really Thanksgiving songs, and there's a whole like there's kind of a battle between Christmas and Thanksgiving, and it's pretty clear which one's the winner in this case. Like
Again, I think this is the American consumerist thing. I don't
Right.
think you can monetize Thanksgiving the same way you can monetize Halloween or Christmas.
Gotta be real. I'm gonna also give November. I was gonna give it a B. I think the idea of Thanksgiving and the leaves changing some more gives it a nice edge. So I'm gonna put it there.
All right. December S
S.
tier. Love December. December
There's
is
just no question about it.
no
And
question.
we're both kind of biased against the winter months as we see from our ratings of January and February. But there's just no contest when it comes to a month with Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and like every conceivable holiday there. A month that has a great break. A month that has some of the best music.
Best
of
music.
the freaking year. Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You" is
A
probably
bop. It's an infinite bop.
yes. It's indescribable how much of a bop
Now,
that song is.
okay, indescribable. It's a great bop. September beats it out. September,
I guess in terms of if we were to rank the months by musical prowess,
there's not enough content for that. It was just-
quantity December, quality September, in all likelihood. Because for December,
third, and then the other one, the Halloween. You got
this is Halloween. This is
and they
spooky,
did the
scary
match.
skeletons.
They did the monster mash.
But December, I honestly, the Christmas lights, the jingle bells,
The food,
so when you
the
think
things okay. We've been hating on consumerism because maybe it's inherently flawed.
I honestly,
I love things. I love getting things.
yeah,
I love
I say
giving people
consumerism with
things.
this negative tone to make myself seem like I'm above the flaws of American society, when in reality, I am so not. I'm just a dude. Like I want gifts.
Sure, I
If you
think
got some presents freaking given to me, dude. I'll take them.
I think the thing about it is that Thanksgiving, for example, is not about. There's no items to give people. You just buy food.
it's
That
just wholesome times.
the idea that as a culture we like something more because there's things for us to buy and like the economy drives us to like it more.
Yeah.
That makes me uncomfortable because I like the idea that I like Christmas because of a thing. I do like giving and getting things for Christmas. I don't think me giving or getting things defines how I feel about it. I think I associate just good times with it.
Yeah.
It's S tier for me.
Yeah, there's no way it's not S. I'm trying to think of other, and the possibility of snow I feel like is the highest in December going into January.
I disagree. I think you're gonna get the most snow late January, early February.
Gotcha.
I do think
But
though,
that's the first time you have the hype of like it could be a snow day.
right. That's
possibility.
you're not expecting
Which,
snow in
that was a little
November.
bit more prominent in previous years, thanks global warming. But
Yeah.
I think that it's a really high quality month for all the reasons that we've said. And dude, the movies, Christmas movies.
What Christmas? What?
I mean, I guess I'm just saying there's so much content.
There's a lot of
on
there's a lot
both
of
sides.
cultural.
There's so much cultural
significance
significance, exactly. So there could be like, and I guess it is also like the idea of the end of the year, the New Year beginning,
Right.
that makes it kind of a significant thing as well. But like, there are so many great Christmas movies and so many horrible Christmas movies that you have things on both ends of the spectrum, which is like, this is one of the best movies that I just love it so much, and this is such a terrible movie that I love watching it and
Right.
thinking about how bad it is. And that's the same with the songs to a certain extent.
Definitely.
S tier, that's the end.
S tier. All right. My S tier. We'll do like a recap real
Yeah.
quick. My S tier months are May and December. My A tier months are June and July. My B tier months are March, September, and November. My C tier months are August and October. My D tier months are January and April. And my F tier month is February. F is for February. February. Go February yourself. That's a joke. Haha. Haha. February.
Wow, okay. My list is quite similar. My S tier month is December. My A tier months are June and July. My B tier months are March, May, October, and November. My C tier months are January and September. My D tier months are February and April. And my only F tier month, which honestly, it might not even be an F tier month, but I slapped it on there as one, August.
August.
Um,
And you know, I respect that. I respect your decision.
and I think it's very much based on location. I think it's very much based on personal preference. But, you know, I just don't think August is that great. I'm sorry.
That's how it be.
All right. This has been Tears of Joy. Thank you for listening. If you vehemently disagree with our lists, comment yours down below. There are no wrong answers, except for if you think that February is an A tier month, which it is.
February
just not, and it never will
sucks.
be.
Boo.
Also, just gonna be real, I don't actually know how to pronounce the word vehement.
Yeah, you put it. You put it in the outro despite not being comfortable
Hold the phone.
enough with it.
I need to look this up again because I genuinely just don't recall.
Vehemently.
Vehemently?
Vehemently.
Vehemently.
This is a great.
Vehemently.
This is a great note for us to end on.
If you vehemently disagree with our lists, comment yours down below. I guess that's fair. All right. There we are. See you next time.
We'll vehemently see you next time.
Okay.